Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro Division for the Ryder Cup Tournament in Golf Clash, the game. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content for free. Last but not least, get the ultimate tournament guides, website access pass, training sessions on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Check it out, link is description down below. Elevation, club distance adjustment, and what ball and club type I suggest you to use is in the info box on the right hand side. You don't have to follow what I do suggest, but there's always a plan behind it. Can we get this video up to 500 thumbs up? That would be amazing and I would be very thankful for that. Enough talk about that and let's focus on the holes in this video. So let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we're gonna use our quarterback, and here it is recommended to play with a kingmaker. If you don't have the possibility to play with a kingmaker, change to a titan, as you will still have side spin enough. But as I do have the possibility to play with a lot of kingmaker, I think that's going to be the suggestion here in the end. I'm using 5 bars of topspin and as much side spin to the right possible. And listen, I know this is a quarterback level 10, and if you play with a quarterback level 7 or level 8, you don't have that much topspin. So the thing that you will do then is that you will need to compensate with more overpower. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 20. You push up to max curl of the quarterback, and then you are going to go with 2 rings of overpower with quarterback level 9 and level 10. If you do play with quarterback level 7 or level 8, I would recommend to go with 4 rings of overpower to just make sure that you do get the distance enough for the shot that we're going to attempt for the approach here towards the pin. 374, and that's a good yardage. From 370, our shot plays at maximum distance plus 20. So from 370, maximum distance plus 20. From then 374, then we're going to play 92% slider with a 20% over adjustment. Spin to pin, half a bar of side spin to the right, and then whatever top spin that makes this ball guideline go towards the pin. Adjustment here, once again, if we play from 370, we play maximum distance plus 20. And here you can see that I'm using the runner. You may be wondering, why do I use the runner? Is to have the enough top spin towards the pin. And if we're looking at the runner as a club itself, sure, it has a bad accuracy, but it's a very nice one to have here to go for a rough bump instead of bouncing towards the pin, having to rely on that we will be spot on with the bounce effects that we need to compensate for. So my recommendation is the rough bump. If you feel in any form not confident with the rough bump, then you will bounce yourself towards the pin. But in the end, we're looking for an eagle here on hole number 1, and this is the best option. For hole number 2, we're gonna play this one massively over adjusted. This is such a weird shot, and the thing that I do is I'm adding 0.2 top spin, 2 bars of left spin, and now my plan is to aim for the ball guideline to the pin. The thing that I would like to change here though is to move, so I do have the ball guideline to aim for the left side of the cup instead of directly at the cup. Adjustment here is maximum distance plus 50. You know, again, plus 50. So it's an insane over adjustment that we're doing. It's almost that we double the wind to get the adjustment. So max plus 50, and then it's time to take our shot. Perfect ball. And you will see this ball come in with a nice speed, but it will miss to the right. So it still means that we are under adjusting our shot. But that's why I wanted to say to you to aim on the left side of the cup to compensate for that and keep yourself with the maximum distance plus 50. And then you will see yourself being very close for an hole-in-one on hole number 2. For hole number 3, we're gonna go over to the right side, and here instead of trying to go with a lot of curl and bounce on the fairway island before the island that we're aiming for, then we would rather want to go with some overpower. So I'm using 2.5 bar top spin and 2 bars of side spin to the left. I'm stretching out to see my first bounce to be on the fairway there. You can see half of the red ring inside the rough approximately. Once we have done that, we are going to release our finger from the target. We do adjust maximum distance plus 10. We push up our club into max, and then we're going to go with both curl and overpower. We go with 3/4 of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the left, and in this case I'm using 2 rings of overpower. 3 rings would be better, as you can see that we drop very, very close when it comes to the first bounce into the rough there. 348 yards. From 348 yards we are going to be playing from absolute maximum distance. We will also have to use some topspin. Those of you playing with low level sniper will be either have to play with a power 4 ball, or you will have to use more topspin for the approach, because this is a sniper 10 and it does have a lot of power. Ball guideline just short of the hole, approximately half a green square short of pin. Adjustment is gonna be maximum distance and no elevation. In this example I'm adjusting for maximum distance plus 5, and that's why we do miss pretty hefty to the left of the pin. So maximum distance, no elevation is our plan here for the second shot, to be as accurate as possible. This is a tough par 5. Those of you that can play with a power 4 ball will benefit from that with the drive and also the approach, but should be definitely manageable with a power 3 ball as well. For hole number 4, I'm going to use a katana and my sniper. It doesn't matter what level of the sniper I'm having, I'm still going to have no problem here to attacking the pin. Using max side spin to the right and 1 bar of backspin. And don't you just love the view, honestly? I think it's amazing. You can see that I'm having the second bounce to be approximately, middle in terms of height in the bunker, but also 1 ring from the bunker as well. Adjustment here is medium distance plus 30. Power 2 ball setting, which for a 7 miles per hour gives me approx 8.1 rings. And then it's time to take our shot. And you will see that the speed is no problem here, but due to the tailwind, the first bounce is pushing us so far that it doesn't take the turn until too late. So I would recommend us here to move an additional half a ring to with our second bounce to the bunker's position. So still gonna play closer to the bunker, but we have to do that, otherwise we will not be able to go for the pin. Obviously the closer we are aiming to the bunker, the more in play that bunker is going to be. So please be aware of that it might just be in a situation where you might just looking for a mistake-free round, then aim more left and just take the birdie putt. But if you're looking for an all-in-one, you need to aim very close to the bunker with your second bounce. For hole number 5, we're gonna play a pretty boring par 5, because here it's all about not making mistakes. I'm not looking to get an albatross here, I'm just looking to get the eagle as safely as possible. 4.5 bar top spin, 2 bars of side spin to the left. I'm aiming for the ball guideline to be just straight down the fairway. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance with no elevation here for the drive. Once we have done that, you can see that I push up my club into max. That goes only for those clubs that do have 4.5 bar topspin. If you have more topspin on your driver, make sure that you do not push up at all. Like if you have 6 bars of topspin like an extra mile level 8, don't push up, just leave it be and just let the ball do its job by traveling in the air and roll as far as possible. 376, the yardage doesn't really matter, because here we're just gonna get the ball to the green area. Sure, we can possibly get the albatross here if we push very, very hard to the left side there. But if we do that, we're gonna see our ball being stuck in the rough more times than it will get up to be close to an albatross, and have that in mind, to be close. So when I make my decision here, I'm basing my decision on, as I said from the start, I'm looking to get an eagle here, nothing else. So I'm adding max top spin, 2 bars left spin, and then once I've adjusted for max no elevation, I push up to max, and I'm not gonna go with any overpower, but I'm adding a tad curl to the left. The curl is just to prevent myself from going into that freaking bunker that is on the right there. Leaving the ball to be on the green for a simple pot, and as you can see, I'm miles away making an albatross, but once again, our only goal here is eagle. For our hole number 6, we're gonna come to the best opportunity that we do have to make something to drop here, and we do need to get it to drop. That's just how simple it is. Maximum distance with my Apocalypse level 3 blue ring by the rough to the right. I'm using 6 topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right. Adjust max plus 20, and then we're going to push up to max once we are done. Last but not least, we add 1.5 ball curl outside the adjustment ring to the left with 3 rings of overpower. If you do have a club like Apocalypse level 4 or even up to level 5, you do need to reduce the overpower, as you otherwise will go too long. So I would say with Apocalypse level 4, 2 rings of overpower. Apocalypse level 5, you don't need any overpower whatsoever. We're looking to take the shortcut down on the fairway, and this will leave ourselves up with either a wedge or a short iron towards the pin. My recommendation here is to go with a short iron if you can use 4 backspin or less and go directly to the pin. Then you rest on the minimum distance line and bounce up towards the pin. If that's not the case, you have 2 options. Either the dunk, like I'm gonna do, the thing that I'm gonna do here, or you're going for a wedge shot towards the pin. If you're going for the dunk, it's going to be played with a minus 20% elevation, meaning that the ball is going to be less affected by the wind. And obviously you need to check your club distance, so you do get the correct adjustment, but you will be very close to minimum distance with your shot. If you do play with your wedge, I would recommend you to play without elevation, and the reason for that is that you're not going to have the first bounce on your wedge as high up as you have with the short iron, and therefore the elevation is going to be different for that shot, as the first bounce is going to be at a different area. So short iron is definitely the best thing to go with here for hole number 6. For hole number 7, the final of the par 3, we'll also play the more difficult one of them all. I'm using max backspin and 1 bar side spin with the rocket level 10, and I'm aiming for the second bounce to be halfway up on the fringe here. The thing that we are going to do now is that we will then, after we find the position, to adjust for minimum distance plus 30. If you do have a high wind, then you will go in between clubs just slightly. Then I would recommend you to instead of moving your target further up, I would recommend you to go with a little bit of underpower instead. I'm using a tiny click of curl to the right, but it's not enough, so we do need to get ourselves a bit more curl to use, you know, the right side of the ball to be just outside the adjustment ring to the right, to get ourselves the best possible outcome. The reason I'm using a backspin shot instead of bouncing with our wood club with less backspin is because I don't want the ball to come too far, because the green slopes downhill, and the further down we are on the green, the harder the putt is going to be. So then I'd rather go with a backspin shot like this and take my chances for an hole-in-one, but in a worst case scenario, the birdie is going to be no problem. For hole number 8, we're going to play straight forward over to the fairway island. The reason for that is because we do have headwind, so if trying to go over to the left, that's going to be very struggling, I would have to say. 4.5 bar topspin, and I'm looking to have the ball guideline straight down the fairway. Red ring to the top right by the rough. Adjustment is then going to be maximum distance plus 10. So even though we're not in maximum distance of our club, we will still play maximum distance with our shot. Playing with a katana ball, power 2 ball, we don't need anything else here. We could also stretch to play with a power 1 ball, but I think it's good for a power 2 ball here that if we do get a high wind, we could make sure that we stay away from overpower every single time. 315 yards, now my plan is to rest in minimum distance. Now I would say it's very important for you to play with the Saturn or the Grizzly as a long iron, because then you can find the minimum distance line and basically have the, as you can see here, have the sniper rest on the minimum distance line here. Doesn't matter what sniper you have, because in the end all the snipers has a minimum distance. Top spin to the pin. And then when we are adjusting, we are going to attempt to favor, in this case, 11.59. I do attempt to favor 12.01 with this shot, but I would like us to move to have an 11.59 to favor that for our pull angle, which means that the needle, when you turn the screen to north, then you will see the needle point a little bit to the left. Adjustment, minimum distance, no elevation, and here you can see that when we do adjust for this shot, speed is perfect, but we definitely need that little pull angle to compensate to get this one in the hole. For hole number 9, I'm going to play on the left hand side, and the reason for that is that I do believe from the left the albatross attempt is going to be easier than it is from the right. Not saying that you will drop the albatross just all the time from the left, but the chance is going to be better. I'm adding max top spin and then 3 bars of side spin to the right. I'm then going to adjust for max plus 20, push up my club into max, and then it's time to add both curl and overpower. And you can see that I'm having the ball just outside the adjustment ring to the right, and I'm using 5 rings of overpower with my shot. And the plan here is to get the ball to bounce as close to the rough on the top right possible. And obviously those of you playing with 4.5 bar topspin on your driver will struggle to get the ball down the fairway with, enough to get into a good position. So if you do have a 4.5 topspin driver, X mile 7 or below for an example, then I would rather recommend you to play on the right. So the thing that you do on the right, you just take the drive again so you can see the platform on the right. When I turn around, you cannot see it now just because of that, but you see the bunker on the right side of the game screen. Just on the right side of that, there is a fairway island. You are going to want to use 2 bars of backspin and side spin to the right. You just land your ball there, and then you're just going to transport yourself down towards the pin for the second shot. Now, from the left, I'm going to use either the horizon or the big dog. I would prefer the horizon because then you will have a ball guideline to work with. With the big dog, now it's like a bunch of guesswork here because I have no clue if I'm actually aiming at the pin or not. Using 3 bars of topspin may be a little bit too much. 2.5 would be better. But once again, I don't have the ball guideline to rely on, so it's going to be a bunch of guesswork. Maximum distance plus 20 is the adjustment though, and we're looking for the ball to bounce into the rough, and in a worst case scenario, just be on the green for a simple eagle putt for either the win or obviously to just secure the eagle as the final hole in the Ryder Cup. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Pro Division with the tournament win for the Ryder Cup Tournament in Golf Clash the game. Make sure you get your package on patreon.com/golfclashtommy, link directly in the description down below. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Once again, thank you for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.